Good morning, everybody. Glad you guys have joined us today. This video is for those who were not able to make it for the student service this past Sunday morning, or maybe you're sick or you're traveling for sports, but either way, this is for you guys who were not able to make it. We just want to say that we miss you. We hope you're safe and that you're traveling safe as well. So today we're going to be starting off our new series called After You. And this series is about putting others before yourselves. You know, our memory verse for this month comes from Philippians 2, verses 3 through 4, which says this: "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others." Think about it like this. When you're at a restaurant, a server comes to your table, right? And the server asks you, "How can I help you? What do you need?" You know, they're trying to find what needs you have there at their restaurant so they can do their best to help you. You know, this passage is talking about that we should be putting the needs of others above our own. And that's not saying that our needs are not important, but we can get so focused on ourselves and what's going on in our lives that we miss opportunities to be a blessing to those around us, because they may be going through something that we could help out with, but we so focused on our own problems that we miss those opportunities. Our story today comes from the book of Mark, and this is the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. This might be a story that you're very familiar with, but we're going to be looking at this today because in this part, Jesus had just sent out his disciples to go around proclaiming the good news, and now they're coming back to report what they had discovered and what they had seen in their first missionary journey. And Jesus brings them back in, and he wants them to be able to debrief in a quiet, secluded place. At this time, Jesus has already been doing miracles and teaching, so people know who Jesus is. So as they are going to leave and find a quiet area, people started to notice where they were going. And so they actually beat Jesus and his disciples to the area where they were going to meet for this debrief. And let's see what happens here in verse 34, which says this: "When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. By this time it was late in the day, so his disciples came to him. 'This is a remote place,' they said, 'and it's already very late. Send the people away so that they can go to the surrounding countrysides and villages and buy themselves something to eat.' But he answered, 'You give them something to eat.' They said to him, 'That would take more than half of a year's wage. Are we going to spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat?' 'How many loaves do you have?' he asked. 'Go and see.' When they find out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass." You know, I love the detail that Mark adds in this story, because he said when Jesus approached this crowd of people, he had compassion on them, saying they were like sheep without a shepherd. Jesus often being referred to as the good shepherd because he leads the lost to a close relationship with God, saw this and began to teach them. And as he taught them, the day got longer and they got hungry. So there was another need that Jesus saw that needed to be met. And so he told them, "Go sit down in groups and we'll feed them. How much food do we have?" And they said, "Well, we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." And so Jesus began to bless the food and break it apart. And as he broke it apart, he was feeding these 5,000 men. This does not include women and children. There was probably more than 5,000, but he began to feed these 5,000 men with this small amount of food. As you continue to read on, it says that after everyone had been satisfied, when their need had been met, they unloaded 12 basketfuls of scraps from the bread and the fish. What an amazing story that we see here of how Jesus meets us where we are and satisfies our needs. And like I was saying, we all have needs. We all have things that are going on in our lives that we may need help with. But everyone has 2 needs. They have their physical needs which are here and now, and then they have their spiritual needs. Like I was saying, we can't be the one that can solve everyone's physical need. It's hard to do that. You would exhaust yourself trying to be the savior for everyone. But everyone has a spiritual need that we can help out with. How we can point others to the Savior they're looking for. We can point others to Jesus by telling them the gospel message, the good news that Jesus came down to die for their sins so that they can be forgiven and be in heaven with him forever. So this week, my challenge for you guys is be aware of what's going on around you. Look around you, see what's going on, see if there's anybody around you that may need some help in some way, whether it be physical or whether they need to know about Jesus. And allow that door to be opened and be compassionate as Jesus was. Allow people to know that you truly care about them. So when you see a need, go over there and ask them about it. Go over there and ask them if you can do anything to help them out. And maybe, they'll give you an answer. But when they give you an answer, listen to them. Be that person that they can trust and that they can find peace in. And then possibly you'll have the opportunity to tell them about Jesus and be able to serve them in a way that they had never expected before. So for the families that are watching this with your students, if you're there, talk this week about how you can serve those who need to be served. Whether you guys go and serve with Empower Youth and pack meals for kids who need food for the weekend, or go to Impacting Tomorrow and serve in the grocery store or the clothing store, or just look anywhere around the area that you can, begin to serve those who have needs that you're able to help out with right away. So go out this week and begin to find ways that you can put the needs of others above your own. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and I hope you guys have a safe trip back home if you're traveling. If you're sick, please feel better, or if you just weren't able to make it, hope to see you guys back next week. But for now, God bless. Have a good one. Love you guys. Bye.